Okay, so I'm live. It is almost 3:30. It is the 26th of September 2025, and I just thought I'd come on here, do a live about this time going on in the tropics. So I'm not going to be on here long, but you never know. So let me play an intro, and I'll get right into it. Hey, Paula, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see Paula in here. I'll do a little update on the tropics, and let me play my intro, and I'll be back shortly. Let me here. I think it's this one here. All right, I'll be right back. Give me two. Okay, so it's good to see a couple people in here at least. We got Tracy's in here. Good to see Tracy. We got Paula's in here. Paula's always right on the ball here. It's good to see both of you guys in here. Just gonna go do a quick update on the stuff that's going on in the Western Atlantic, and then we'll I may play one thing, true crime, but we'll see. I don't want to be on here forever. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I hope I'm not disrupting anybody's live. I don't think anybody else is live at this point. So, but if I'm bumping into somebody else's time, I apologize for that. But let's get back. Let's get to it here. I try to come on here and do these updates, not to scare the living bejesus out of people, but I try to do this. One, because I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and two, if I feel like there's any kind of threat to the United States, or any type of, even if there's like a minimal chance, I'll try to come on here and give an update. What people do with it after that, I could care less. But as long as I, at least give the heads up, because I know a lot of people come on here and try to, not trying to say I'm a saint or anything like that, but people try to, sensationalize these things. But I'm just trying to give people an update on what's going on, and then, like I said, whatever they do after with that, it's up to them, because I think it's important, to get, at least some sort of, warning before the shit hits the fan, so to speak. So let's enough of my babble here. Let's go to the maps here. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. All right, so this is the three systems we have right now. There's another one kind of, I'll show you on the map when we get to it, but these are the three systems. Gabrielle is basically a nothing system at this point. It's still moving pretty quick though. 30 miles per hour for a hurricane it's light speed. It's that's at a good clip right there. But it's at this point it's what they call post-tropical or extratropical, whatever you want to call it. It's all the way up here in the northern Atlantic here, and these waters up here are a lot cooler than they are down, say, in the tropics here. So when they get up in here, they tend to lose all of their what they call tropical characteristics, like the warmer water, the heavy thunderstorm activity stuff. So Gabrielle's nothing right now. It's good. the Azores are probably getting a little windy day here, but other than that, but it is moving pretty quickly, so it's going to hit over here in the, Iberia here, Portugal, but it's just going to be a rain event. That's all. It's not going to be, tremendously catastrophic for sure. But it was pretty impressive over here. It was a Category 3, almost Category 4 in here. I think it was pretty good. Here's Humberto here. This is still a tropical storm. The pressure's down pretty good, though. This is forecast to become a pretty decent system here. But as of right now, this is the advisory. There's 6, so this is 6th advisory on this. It became a tropical storm. I think it was Wednesday now. But it's pretty much not doing anything, and we'll get to that in a second. But this system here is going to really dictate, I think, what happens with this system here. But so let's take a look at this here. So this is the path that they pretty much an agreement on here at this point till it gets to about Sunday. So it's probably going to be a hurricane. I'll get the I'll get all of the satellites and everything, but this is what they're calling for. They're calling for this to become a hurricane at about 11 o'clock today. It was struggling. What was it? When I did my last update on this yesterday morning, it was kind of struggling to get going, but it's getting into an area here where it's going to be a lot more favorable to develop here. So they're expecting this to become a hurricane by the 11 o'clock Thursday. Well, I'm sorry, this was done 11 o'clock Thursday. So about 8 p.m. on Friday, you're probably going to see a hurricane, but I'll check the radar for you pretty quickly here. And then when it gets to about Saturday night, it's going to be a major hurricane, Category 2 or more. And then by the time it gets to Monday, remember this parallel here, 25 north, it's probably about 29, 26 north here, is when, I'll get to that in a second here, but remember this parallel in here. And there's Bermuda right there. So it's going to kind of go around Bermuda here. This is not going to be a problem for too many people, just a little bit of wave activity here. But this might influence what this other system does here, and I'll get to that in a second. So, so right now here, maximum sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. So it needs to get to about 73, 74 before it becomes a hurricane. If you're plotting at home, these are the coordinates: 22.2 north, 57.1 west. And it's basically it's not moving at all, 3 miles per hour. So it's stationary. It's basically just, and I'll tell you why that's happening in a second here. But again, I'm predicting this to just basically do exactly what Gabrielle and Aaron did. It's going to basically just kind of curve around this high pressure here and just head out to sea to become some sort of, you have to worry about this if you're shipping, because these are shipping lanes here, especially when you get northern, the Atlantic North here. But other than that, it's basically just a fish story. It's not gonna impact land too much at all. So let me go back to the chat so I'm not boring the hell out of everybody. Yeah, it poured last night here. It hasn't rained that hard here in a long time. There was sticks, tree branches down everywhere. But we need the water, so hopefully we got some of that. That's going to sink into the ground to get rid of some of the drought that we're having. But all right, so let's get back to this here. So that's Umberto, right? That's the next storm is going to be I forget the name. They have such weird names when it comes to hurricane systems here. But there's a lot of hurricanes that have been retired, so they won't use those names anymore. So I just want to check one thing while I'm here. The rip current stuff here. So this is probably going to be an impact to a little bit of land here. Your rip currents here, when it gets up into, say parallel with Bermuda here, you're going to start seeing, higher than average wave heights. But it's been like that all year here along the East Coast. It's been a pretty brutal season here when it comes to rip currents. So it's only going to get even worse when this gets up into here, especially if you have, two systems at the same time. Um, so right now it's a moderate level here from, I'd say, probably Miami all the way up to the New England coast here. And then we can check tomorrow. Can we check tomorrow here? So tomorrow's going to be even less. But once this gets up into, say the center west here, you might see a little more, especially for Bermuda here. Uh, but anyways, okay, so that's that. I just wanted to check that. What I want to do now is I want to go to let's get satellite imagery here. And it sucks right now because I can't when I do these lives, I can't really get a satellite imagery because it's too late. It's dark over here in the Atlantic here. So the visible satellites that would normally be able to get if it was alive during the daytime, I can't get at night because it's too dark. But this is the infrared, the geocolor infrared. So this is basically just guessing what's happening. So this is Umberto here, and you can see it's really good right now. So the organization here has picked up quite a bit in this. Let me see if I can stop that from happening here. Sorry about that. So here's all the way up here in the Atlantic, way up here, you can see the tail end of Gabrielle here. And I just, my computer's not working, the internet's not working all that great right this very second. So I just looped this down to 12 hours. All right, so here's Umberto here. Umberto's right here. This is a system that kind of came off the coast of Africa. I think it was yesterday here. They're not expecting much from this here, but we'll keep an eye on it. This is kind of low in the so basically the intertropical conversion zone basically goes from this parallel here all the way across, all the way into the Western Pacific, Eastern Pacific. So when you get down into here, or up into these parallels here, when they come off the coast, this water up here is much cooler and the water down here is much cooler. So right in this parallel here, these water temperatures now are probably about 80, 82, 83. So that's capable of withstanding some sort of a hurricane system or a tropical system. But in another couple of weeks or so, historically in the Atlantic here, especially the Eastern Atlantic, this will tend to decrease in activity here. And then we'll start looking over here into the, remember last year last year at this time, we were pretty much behind in what a normal season would be. And then all of a sudden the Gulf of Mexico just picked up like crazy. We had Milton, Elena, I had like 4 or 5 different storms here. So when you start getting into close to October, you start looking over here in the Caribbean here, the really southern Jair here can, drum up some storms here, the Gulf of America here, and even off the coast of the United States. Sometimes you get these fronts that, drop into the Atlantic here and they can spin up here. But other than that, right now we have Humberto here. And you can see, like I said, there's a center of circulation right there, right in the dead center in the middle here, right where my pointer is. You're still getting a little bit of shear here, what they call shear or wind, kind of blowing these northern cloud tops off a little bit. But still, pretty good outflow here. It's looking much better today than it did yesterday, that's for sure. But you got outflow here. You're starting to get kind of that buzzsaw look here. And I wouldn't be surprised if, what is it? Today's Friday. Later today, you get a pretty defined eye here. Because when you start getting into these, open Atlantic waters here, they get warmer and warmer and warmer as they go along here. So it's going to it's kind of going to lose some of this westerly, what they call these westerly shear winds here once it gets over into here. So this will become a hurricane by later today for sure, no doubt in my mind. But this is the system here that we're watching. This is the system here. The center of circulation is right about over into the Turks and the Caicos here. The center of circulation is right in here. And you see all of this cloud activity here, but you can see, I mean, even today, I could probably, you can see right here, this tail end here, you're starting to see a little bit of outflow here in the top, and it's definitely got some sort of a circular image to it. It's not just a bunch of cloud tops and nothing else. You can see that it looks like it's a circular type of system here for sure. And I'll put it into motion here. You can definitely see some banding here. I mean, it's definitely over landmass here, so it's not, it's not tapping into all water here. It's over land here, but this is expected to come and emerge up over the Turks and Caicos here in the next day or two. And once it gets up into, I'd say above these islands here, and it starts to emerge over the open Atlantic here, this is going to probably start to get a lot better organized. And don't forget, you got the jet stream here, which is much warmer water. So once it gets up into here, I wouldn't be surprised if you see, especially a tropical storm develop by Monday or Tuesday here. But earlier in the week, I think it was Wednesday or so, the forecast for these two storms, especially this one here, wasn't very promising for any type of landfall. But since the latest, I think it was the European model came out, and now they have this actually, I'll show it to you in the forecast when we get to the forecast. But hold on a second. Let me check back to the chat. It's Friday now. Thank you, Paula. All right, so this is the water vapor here, and this, for some reason, the water vapor and me get along really good because I can actually see what's going on from space here when it comes to tapping the water vapor in the atmosphere. This is basically looking down and seeing where's all the vapor, where's all the water. And you can definitely see these steering currents, or what they call these northern Atlantic or normal Atlantic high pressures, where they're at, where they're moving, what's going on. You have a front that's dropping here, which brought us rain today. This is a low pressure system here that's dropping deep into the country here, so it's going to be nice and clear for the next couple of days over most of the country here. But this system here is going to impact both of these systems here. You got your high pressure here. So when you're talking high pressure systems, tropical systems are what they call low level systems. They're way down. They're way down at the surface, right? So if you take this low pressure here that's draping across the country, these are much higher up. These low pressure systems are higher up. These tend to be more at the surface and they're more compact. So what happens with these systems here is these high pressure systems act as like stop signs. It can't go through this. It can't go this way because this high pressure is here. So you figure, you look at these high pressures like a huge dome of pressure, air, and it's not going to be able to climb this. So it's going to try to go around this. And what happens sometimes is these pressure systems here, especially these low pressure systems here, and this other system that's coming off the coast, will weaken these high pressure systems to a point where now these systems will have a place to go, because right now, Umberto's basically just sitting there waiting for this high pressure to figure out what the hell it's doing. But once the theory is once this, and these are all just forecasts, these are not, I mean, these could change, you know, but the consensus with Umberto here is it's going to try to, once this weakens a little bit, it's going to try to go around it, because it can't go north, can't go this way. So it's going to have to wait for this system here, this high ridge of pressure here, to kind of dissipate or move a little bit so it can go around it. The least passive resistance here. It's going to go, and that's probably my forecast too. It's probably going to take and do the same thing that Gabrielle did, and kind of skirt around this high pressure system. And then there's, obviously going to be high pressure up to the north, especially in New England here. So it can't go north. So it's going to have to take and go around this high pressure here and take a right out to sea. So that's the good news. But earlier in the week, if you see these two systems, earlier in the week, they had these two systems much closer together, meaning, you have one low pressure here and low pressure here. If they're closer together, normally what happens is the one that's stronger will eat the other one up. It'll eat up the and basically combine it into one system. But things have changed now quite a bit, and it's because of this high pressure here. So it's kind of separating these two systems more than they thought it was going to earlier in the week. So this is the system that we're going to watch, because this system here is probably going to take the same path that this is going to take, which is going to push it around this high pressure system. But this low pressure system that's coming down here from the States is going to kind of pick this up and try to bring it into the United States, the coast here. It's going to try to lift it into, and the other factor here is this system here is going to kind of prevent this system from taking the same exact path. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So I want to go. If you see the movement here in the last 12 hours, you see nothing really. It's just, minimal, maybe jog to the north a little bit, but it's not. That's why I put these longitude and latitude lines in here, so I can see the movement within the next 12 hours or so. It seems like it's just sitting there doing nothing, and it's waiting for this system here to figure out what it's going to do. You see the high ridge here. Everything's going around this area here. Nothing can come through this. So, and then this system here, the center, so if there's a center here, it's right in that little, where my cursor is, right there, maybe a little bit more north than that. But it isn't a defined system yet, so there is no center. But if it's trying to form one, it's trying to form one right in that little zone right there. All right, so let's go to, what are we going to do next? I want to go, can I get there from here, you think? All right. All right, so this is earlier imagery from Umberto. This is the visible satellite here. So this is, real time. This was just done earlier. So this is the visible here, and you can see really good outflow here. You can see it just starting to really get much better organized. It's wrapping itself around the center here. And I think you're still getting some shear here from either this system to the north here, or, maybe from our other system to the east, the west here. But you can see some shear outflow up to the top, the north here. Especially most of the hold on, let me put this on here. So you see, most of the activity is not completely symmetrical. You see most of the activity is off to the east here. You have some stuff to the west, but it's being kind of blown off of the system here, almost like it's halved in half here. But um, you can see that this center here is really starting to pick up now. You're seeing a lot of these cumulus clouds go way up. And you're seeing, the layering here in the cloud tops. This is a pretty good system here right now. All right, so let's see here. I think I can do this. Yes, I can. Very good. Right, this is perfect. So I just switched to the Caribbean uh, shot here. So this is the system here. Nice out right now. I'm outside. It's about 60, probably about 64 degrees out right now. It's all right. So see how this stuff is lifting? See how all this stuff here is kind of pulling up, lifting up. That's what the plan is here with this thing. Once this gets over into here and this high pressure starts to weaken here, this front that's dropping from the Midwest right this very second is going to try to pull this system into the coast here. It's not written in stone. Some models that still have this taking an exit to the right. Yeah, some really weird spaghetti plots that are trying to pull it into the Gulf of America here, but Humberto is pretty much, we know what that's going to do. But it's going to be a race. There's going to be a race here between which one of these heads north first, till we get a really good idea of what's going on. Once this gets an actual center of circulation here, they'll probably fly in here, throw some sondes down in here, and get a really good read of what is going to happen with this here, with all of the different computer models. Right now, it's just basically they're guessing with buoy reports, shipping, and just basically overall looking into the system here. But once they get the center of circulation, they'll fly in here and see what's going on. But today it looks pretty good. I mean, it's looking much better than it did yesterday, and that's probably what's going to happen. All right, so let's stop sharing this here. I want to go back. I wonder if the two systems have a chance. Yeah, that's exactly what the theory was. A couple days ago, when they started to get some of the information back from some of the because until there's a center of circulation, it's basically just a guessing game. They put a lot of these European models. I think there's like 24 or 5 of those. There's all of the GFS models, the American models. But what they do is they basically try to plot around a specific type center and just throw a whole bunch of information in there, and then it spits out where they think it's going to go. But until like yesterday or so, there was a center of circulation from Baritone. Now they can really get an idea of what's going on. So, and that's just going to be the same with the next system, which I think is it's a weird name. It's I Metro or something like that. It starts with an I for sure. But all right, so let's I don't want to go there. All right, so hold on 1 second. Let me get back to where I was. And we're going to get some ocean temperatures here. Hold on a second. What am I doing? Right here. Okay. I forget what they call it. They have a specific Fujimura or something like that when they both um, when there's two systems in the same area, the stronger one will basically just eat up the other one without getting too scientific. It's but that's not always the case. I've seen them before. I think these two systems here are too far apart for that. Um, and it's because of this high pressure ridge here. This high pressure ridge is basically stopping these two from getting that close. It's basically put Humberto at like a standstill right now. 3 miles an hour is that's a guesstimate. That could take forever. 3 miles an hour take forever to get to any land. So that's why I think this system here that I'm looking at here is actually going to start climbing more fast than this system here, and that's going to be the problem. If this starts to take off to the north, this might actually get a little bit more organized before this one does. So, but right now it's basically a whole bunch of showers and thunderstorms. It's considered to be the Atlantic 94 invest. Continue to show signs of organization and associated with a tropical wave located near Hispaniola and the Turks and Caicos. An area of low pressure is expected to form along the wave today. So that means today. When it moves near the southeast Bahamas, the low is expected to become a tropical depression when it is in the vicinity of central and northwest Bahamas later today. As it tracks northwestward over the southwest. So basically, like I said, once it reaches above, right now it's over land technically. So once it emerges over, more of this open water here, it's going to probably become a depression. But what I want to do now is I don't think I get border reports. All right, so here's the water temperatures here in the Atlantic. And this is valid through 9/24. So this was a couple days ago, but it was gives an idea anyways. Um, so obviously way up here in the north where we are, these water temperatures are frigid, freezing, literally, compared to say down here in the intertropical conversion zone here. So here's Africa here's Florida. This is the Georgia, Carolinas, uh, Maryland, Delaware, Belmont Peninsula here. This is the Gulf of America here. You have the Caribbean islands here, but this is where our two systems are. So we're right in this area here. And over the summer here, I've noticed that the water temperatures here off the coast of Africa were frigid. But now, they're back to normal, 28. So you're probably talking 80, 81, 82 degrees. And that's anything above 79 degrees is capable of withstanding a hurricane. So once you get into this pocket here, you're probably talking 83, 84. I know that Gabrielle did kind of, but Gabrielle wasn't here long, so it wasn't able to stir up the ocean surface temperatures. Usually if you have a hurricane here for a long period of time, it'll what they call the ocean water temperatures, where it'll bring the cooler water that's way down up to the surface and then cool these waters off a little bit, but it didn't do that. So um so right now it's definitely enough to sustain a hurricane, and that's what's going to happen when you get closer to the you know jet stream here. That's when the temperatures start to go up a little bit, and that's where our system is right now. Our system that we're worried about, Invest 97 here, is right in this area here. And once it gets into, say 21, 22 north here, you're going to start picking up some of this warmer water. So this technically, once it gets over open water here, could what they call rapidly intensify in a short period of time. And then when it moves north here, now it's going to start getting into a little bit cooler. So let's go back here. So this is the anomaly loop. So you're getting one up, one above here, one above. It's a little bit cooler here. And this is what I was meaning by the, it's not cold here, cold water. It's just below, for the last couple of months here. It's been below where it normally is. So, but now it's lukewarm. It's perfect. So right in this pocket here, this is where we are. This is the area of interest here. And right off the immediate coast, it's a little bit cooler. So, I don't think, I don't think whatever hits, or if anything does hit the Carolinas here, I don't think it's going to be like a major hurricane, but I mean, it could be, cat one, cat two. All right, so let's go back here. Check out the chat. Hope I'm not boring everybody. Two seconds here. Where did I find that before? Oh, whoops. I'll have to figure that out again. I was fooling around at some point. Cape Henry. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I did it. Unbelievable. All right, let's see if we can get a buoy report here. So this is from station 41044 Northeast St. Martin. And this is okay, so this buoy is reporting, this is the 26th, which is today. Winds 17.5 to gusting to 23.3 knots. So that's about 30 miles an hour. Wave height 7.1 seconds. Mean wave description east northeast 29.83. So the pressure's dropping here. And look at this water temperature 84. So that's good news. And then, whenever you have a dew point of 74 degrees Fahrenheit and a water temperature of 84, that's called tropical, right? That's very muggy, very tropical. If I can only live in a tropical system here, this would be great. Now let's check out something over here. They don't really have any buoys here. So station MGZP4. Atmospheric pressure. So look, the water temperature here is a little bit warmer. 85.8. So it's nice. The water temperatures are for sure are definitely good. And here's our system here, and then this is the track it's going to take, basically. I mean, this is Umberto here. All right, so let's finish that up here. Sorry if this is boring for you, but the buoys can give me a very, very good idea of what the hell's going on around here. Um, this is the east of Bahamas, 84, 85.3, 2.75.9, gusts about 20, 21 miles per hour. So winds are picking up here too. All right, so enough of that. Let's get to the forecast. All right, so there's one thing I do want to do first, though. Why? All right, so let's see what's going on in the country here, because this is so day 3. So this is valid through the 29th, which is my birthday. So September 26th through the 29th. So this is 3 days. So here's our low pressure here. It's our system right here, and this is 3 days out. High pressure here. So let's go day 4. So there it is. So this is not good. Uh, so this is Florida here. This is Georgia. There's South Carolina. There's North Carolina. So this is, according to this map here, this low pressure here, whatever this is going to hit right, almost like a beeline to Myrtle Beach, right in here. Back a day. So here's, I believe this is, this image here is for the 29th, which is Monday. So go ahead one day, watch this. This is the system right here. And this looks, the isobars here are pretty close together here. Bam. So you live, all right. So if you live, I'd say northern Florida, probably Jacksonville. If you live in Jacksonville, or all the way up here to, I'd say even Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Cape, all of these outer islands here, even into the Del Mar Peninsula here. And I would watch this. I would definitely prepare yourself for at least at least a Cat 1 hurricane here that's going to make landfall somewhere between, I'd say, yeah, I'm going to predict I'm probably not going to hit Florida at all, but I'm going to say from Jacksonville all the way to Maryland. I would be very, very cautious of I'd prepare now for, especially on the dirty side, the east side of this here. Because the problem last year was, um, I literally predicted the problems from Helene last year into Western Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, all of that flooding, because the problem is it's been really dry. I mean, it's been really dry here in New England. I think most of the country is in what they call um, a kind of like, I don't want to say a drought system, but it's been very, very warm this year and very dry. And anytime you get these systems here that come into, I'm not saying this is going to happen in this one here, um, but anytime you have any of these systems that come into the coastline like this here, and these systems kind of, once they hit land, they kind of, fall apart. But that moisture's got to go somewhere. So what sometimes happens is this moisture here that's in the atmospheres is got to fall somewhere. And everybody concentrates on, the landfall of these things. But, you go 40, 50 miles, 60 miles inland, into the mountains in, North Carolina, uh, Eastern Tennessee, even into the Virginias here. Um, you get that much water at that short period of time, you can really have a problem, because that water, like I said, the water's in the atmosphere, and it's not going to just dissipate. It's going to fall somewhere. So, I mean, if you live, um, and again, I'm not trying to scare the shit out of people. It's just, these systems here are notorious for dumping. And if it stays in here for a long period of time, like a day or so, which it looks like it's going to, once this hits, it's probably going to sit in here for a little while. That's a lot of water, and it's falling on really dry land, and that water's got to go somewhere, and it usually goes downhill. So I'll keep an eye on that for sure. But let's get a real forecast here. But I think this is definitely a possibility, because here's the high pressure here, so it can't go north. It's not going to go, say north, into New England. It's got to kind of fit in here somewhere, because the other system's going to be to the east of it. Um, so it's definitely a possibility that this is accurate. This is probably going to hit somewhere, you know. And I say northern Florida too, because this could take a quick left turn here. And, so my prediction here is, if you live, northern Florida, Jacksonville, all the way up to, because I don't think it's going to go any more north than, say, Pennsylvania. Uh, I'd be watching this here for sure. All right, so let's go out of here. You showed the buoys, as I've been only seen those on the Ring of Fire during tsunami alerts. Yeah, the years ago, when I've been watching hurricanes, 50 years at least. No, 40 years ago, we didn't have all these satellites and wonderful digital imagery. And I had ham radios checking buoy, shipping. I used to have, my mother used to get really mad at me. I had, the whole room was full of maps, and it was so much different then than it is now. I mean, of course, if you got a day or two notice that these things are coming at you, you were doing something right. But things have changed quite a bit since then. So I count a lot on the old time stuff too. The buoy reports, shipping lane, information that comes off a shipping lane, merchant shipping lanes. All right, so let's go. What am I doing here? So I get back to. All right, so let's get a forecast here. Sorry. Hold on. All right, let's get a forecast here, and we'll get out of here. All right, so. Okay, so I can get probably I won't be able to get the latest, but I'll be able to get next to latest. So we'll do the GFS first, the American model here. We'll do the 7-day here. I want to rock this here. Okay, so this is the GFS model. This is 18 hours out. This is going to go 7 days out. So this is you know, tonight technically. So here's our system right here, and there's Umberto right there, and that's Gabrielle way over here. Gabrielle, don't worry about that. Here's another system here that might try to form something down here too. So, but let's get this going here. All right, so this is Saturday. So Saturday, here's Umberto, which becomes a hurricane, and then I think that red transitions to maybe a stronger hurricane. Here's our system here. Now, notice, like I said here, this is a race to the north, right? So Umberto takes more of a western jog here first because it's waiting for this high pressure to figure out what it's doing. But this system here doesn't have to worry about that. It's going to go basically northwestern, northwest here. So, but if you watch this system here is at a higher parallel than Umberto, and this is by Saturday. So it's basically emerging over, the Turks and Caicos here by Saturday afternoon. So let's go. So again, you can see this is Sunday, Sunday noon. This is open water here, and it's at a higher parallel than Umberto, because Umberto now is just starting to make its kind of, northerly, more northerly track here. But see, this is why this is not going to do that combination thing, because these two systems are way too far apart for these two systems to merge. And by the time Umberto gets to this status here, this system here, the I system here, is going to be probably a tropical storm by that point. So I don't think these are going to merge at all. They might, but I doubt it. So let's go here. It takes a jog to the east. Hold on a second there. So if you see the parallel, so it goes north, and then the jog to the east a little bit here, which could be trying to interact with this here. And this is Monday, 29th. Monday the 29th is the day I got married for the first time, and it's also my birthday. So it's a good day, but at the same time, a pretty bad day. So we're gonna not worry about me here. We'll go another couple of loops. So this is Monday, 72-hour forecast here. And there's something trying to form here too, down here in the Atlantic. Oh, no. Okay. So here we were. Let's go ahead a little bit more. That's the jog to the east there, and then a quick left there to the west. That's telling me that this trough here that's coming down here that we just saw is really going to try to lift this system. But if you look here, this system here is way north from Umberto. So that's why there's probably not going to be any type of merging here. In fact, this system here might actually be pulling Umberto a little bit more to the west than they thought. And this is Monday night. So the system here looks like it's going to be a hurricane. I think that's what that kind of color is right there, hurricane color. And here's your high pressure to the north, so it can't go north. It just can't. And there you go, right there. So by Tuesday morning, the 30th. Now this could change, right? This is just one model here, so this could change, and it probably will. You know, even a 20-mile jog to the east, to the west here, north, south, could make a significant difference of where this ends up being. But it looks like in this imagery here, it's making a beeline right for Myrtle Beach. So let's go back. The Carolinas are due. They haven't gotten one in a while. So we'll do the ensembles here. So this is a whole bunch of different spaghetti plots here. Mostly the European and the American models. And I swear by the European model. It's just my go-to. I know the American model's getting better, but the European model is usually, especially in the longer range forecasts, much better. All right, so this is a Saturday. Hold on, let me go back to the chat to make sure. You're in South Central Indiana, have lived in Danville, Virginia. All right, so sorry I wasn't paying attention to the chat. Hey, Justin Partridge, good to see you. Finally got some rain in Virginia. It's been drier than a popcorn. Yep, it's been really dry all summer long here. Well, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Almost done here. So more here. All right, so everybody's in a consensus right to about Sunday. So when you get to Sunday-ish, all these spaghetti plots are pretty close together here. So everybody up until this point, here's Umberto here, and there's Gabrielle here. But everybody's pretty much in, you know, agreement here right up until about Sunday afternoon. So let's now you're going to start seeing these get you know, separated here. You have one taking it a little bit more to the north here, one to the northwest, and then farther northwest here. So, and then this is Monday. Pressure here. And then of course this system here that's this trough here. But I'm going to make this prediction right up to about Sunday afternoon. So about Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, this thing's probably going to be hurricane starting with an I. I forget the actual name. Amitra or something like that. It's some weird name. And then Umberto is going to basically be a fish story. It's going to basically just curve and head out to sea. But this is the system we're watching here. So I'll probably do another update tomorrow when I get home from work. But like I said, if you live because you got some of these spaghetti plots that are taking it right into Miami here. Obviously, that's you got one that's way down here, just keeping it down here. But if you live, like I said, if you live Jacksonville North, all the way up to, I'd say Maryland, Delaware here, I'd plan for a pretty wet day. And like I said, I'll come on here. Uh, Probably tomorrow morning. Um, um, to give more of an update. Let's hold on 1 second. We'll get to the professionals here. Give me a second here. I had what's his face pulled up pretty quickly here. All right, let's do this guy here. 7 hours ago. Do I have something? We'll do this one here. All right. Get out of this here. Stop sharing that. Do this here. Let's see what the professionals have to say. Dustin Partridge, we got much needed rain this week as well. Yeah, it's raining here too. But it's going to quickly dry out again here. And it's probably going to do the same thing in the Midwest here in the next couple of days. All right, so let's go to a professional here and see what he has to say. This is coming from News 10. This is the latest one that I could find. This was done 4 hours ago.
Are watching a lot in the tropics. Things are going to get interesting here on the East Coast, but we are okay at this point here. Okay, let's get that out of the way. That is Umberto. You can see the path here going in between Bermuda and Hatteras. This one's the one we need to watch. 80 to 90% chance of development. This one's going to be impressive. I mean, in just the next 24 to 48 hours, we're going to end up with a Cat 3 major hurricane. All right, tomorrow this will be a hurricane, and then it goes to 125 mile per hour winds. That's the current forecast during the day on Sunday. Now, that's Umberto. It's way out there. Okay, this is the center of all of that. All right, it may reform, but right now it looks like the convection's trying to catch up to that center, and the forecast models are trying to hold on to where it is. But look what's happening now. You can see both of them kind of recurving, at least.
Look at some of these spaghetti plots. You got some that are taking it, doing a U-turn here and then heading out to sea. You got some. That's just so weird. But that's only because there isn't like a center of circulation yet, technically. So these spaghetti plots sometimes don't know what these are. Probably the Canadian models. That's why I've only made my forecast up until about Sunday, right in here. This consensus is up in here, but like I said, if I was in Georgia all the way up to I don't think the Virginias are out, but I'd be shocked if the system goes all the way up to Maryland.
It started that way, but then this one started curving into South Carolina early this morning. Now look what happens. Some of them go there, some of them go out, some of them turn early. Nothing's set in stone with
this is you got some that are, you got one that's taking this up and doing a loop-de-loop, but this is weird.
Storm right now. What we are concerned about here is that it doesn't come into Florida. But right now, I don't think that's a very good chance because we have this cold front coming Saturday. This is Saturday evening. The front probably already across by that time. But when that gets to the coast, that helps to block this storm, and that'll pull it up towards the north. And then we'll have to see if it goes on shore, as it looks like it would Monday night and the Tuesday, up towards Myrtle Beach, maybe even Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, look at Umberto, though. It's going much more west than people thought it was going to. This is supposed to be, like a couple of days ago, Umberto was basically supposed to be over here heading out to the east, but now it's way over here. Look at how tight that isobar is.
Cape Fear area. So we'll keep an eye on it, but this is not our storm at this point, okay?
So I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to give an update on that. Should we put down the crayon, Jeff? That's too funny. That's funny. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate it. I'll try to do an update tomorrow morning when I get home from work. I almost guarantee you by tomorrow morning, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a tropical depression forming or formed. That's right. Guess you have to wait and see. Yep. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be a potential landfalling hurricane. That's the only reason why I'm coming on here. But I'll give another update tomorrow when I get home. I hope everybody joins me for the True Crime Live late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're going to be talking about the Gilgo 4 and some other cases too. I do the missing person case of the week. But thank you, Justin Partridge, for coming in. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tracy. You're awesome. Tracy's an amazing person. She's awesome. Hopefully I'm not cutting into anybody's chats here. I know Paula was in here. Paula's amazing. Thank you, Paula, so much. I hope you're well. I hope everybody's well. And anybody lurking, thank you for coming in. So I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate it. Stop sharing that. Everybody have a safe day, and we'll see you later.